So with everything going on in the past day or two between Nick Saban, Primetime, Jimbo Fisher, and Travis Hunter, there was one thing that would have been the main news in the headlines, but it flew completely under the radar. Everybody was so caught up, and rightfully so, with Nick Saban, Jimbo Fisher, and Deion, nobody realized and talked about what USC was doing. USC and Lincoln Riley kind of caught a break because I can almost guarantee you, if all the stuff with Nick Saban wouldn't have went on, this would have been what everybody was clamoring about. Now let's not joke around here. USC, I don't think it's going to take 2 to 3 years to rebuild. They're going to be great this year. It's a different world with all the transfer portal stuff and NIL. Now you don't have to get all these recruits. You can just take them with you. I truly believe that USC, and this may be a bold statement, but it's just how I feel, I think they're a serious threat to college football. And I'm not only talking about 5 to 10 years down the road, I'm talking about next year. If you have a good team and a great quarterback, you're going to have a chance to win a championship, and that's how it is in the NFL, same thing in college. There is a few circumstances where this doesn't apply, but I say 98, 99% of the time, you're only going to go as far as your quarterback can take you. A very rare exception to that was, ironically, last year at Stetson Bennett in Georgia. Georgia could have had almost anybody playing quarterback as long as they was mediocre. They had the best team and it wasn't close. I said that all year long. I thought Georgia had the best team by far. I thought they had the best defense and everything else except for their quarterback. Outside of that magical and great year Georgia had last year, look at all the previous winners. Mac Jones in Alabama, great quarterback. Joe Burrow in LSU, outstanding quarterback, and the list goes on and on. Tua Tagovailoa, Trevor Lawrence, Jameis Winston, Cam Newton, and that's just a couple that came to my mind. I'm not saying a quarterback can take an 0-12 team and turn them into the greatest thing ever. Obviously, you got to have some talent surrounding him. But ultimately, when it's all said and done, a lot of these teams, they do have talent. The one guy that can separate them and take them to another level is a quarterback. The quarterback is and always will be the most important position, no questions asked. I brought all that up to lead me into my next point perfectly. What does USC have? What did they bring in? Oh, no other than arguably maybe the best quarterback in all college football. I've already seen mock drafts for not next year, but the year after, and people are already talking about tanking for Caleb Williams. We do got to look at the possibility. I mean, it could happen. He goes to USC and he folds under the pressure. I don't personally think that's going to happen because he has special talent. There's just something about his game. He has that moxie, that swagger, that when you see it and the way he holds himself, you know, okay, yeah, he's that guy. He has the it factor. I never really saw it in Spencer Rattler. I always thought Rattler was talented. He just didn't have that it. To go along with the swagger, Caleb Williams has a heck of an arm and he's also super athletic. He checks all the boxes. I love me some Caleb Williams. I could go on and on about him. Bryce Young's really good. CJ Stroud's really good. He's got that NFL stature. But if I had to pick one guy, Caleb, Bryce, CJ, I got to rock with Caleb. If I'm in the backyard and I got to pick between those three guys and it comes down to a life or death situation, I got to take Caleb. I don't love CJ Stroud as much as some other people. I do like him, but he hasn't exactly grown on me just yet. Bryce Young is Bryce Young. You know what you're getting out of him. He's not going to make many mistakes, and he's going to make a lot of good plays. But with Caleb and what I think could potentially take him to another level over CJ Stroud and Bryce Young is he can make the extraordinary plays. We saw it last year. That one play he had against Kansas, I've never seen anything like it. He's also got an insane IQ to even think about pulling that off. The plays he makes reminds me a lot of what Joe Burrow was doing at LSU. He doesn't just have 1 or 2 spectacular plays every single year. He has 1 or 2 spectacular plays every single game. I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. Caleb Williams, he's must-see TV. It got to the point last year for me when he started playing those games for Oklahoma. I was like, oh crap, what time's Oklahoma playing? I got to get home. I can't miss it. I got to see Caleb play. I didn't want to miss a single second of it. I didn't really care to miss a minute or two of a Bama game or any other game like that. I just could not miss seeing Williams. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Not only does USC have a mastermind at offense, at least Lincoln Riley, they have Caleb to go along with that. Whoa, hold on. You got to surround him with weapons, and USC, they're doing just that. For those of you that don't know, USC is probably in the best position and best place ever to land these 4- and 5-star recruits. They're literally growing in the backyard. The only reason USC has been terrible the past 5, 6, 7, 8, or however long it's been is because all these recruits from California, They're going to Clemson. They're going to Ohio State, Alabama, and around Texas. They're not necessarily going to Texas. They may go to Oklahoma, Texas A&M, or any school like that. But now you're going to see a lot of these guys that would have went elsewhere like Alabama or Georgia. They're going to stay home and play for Lincoln Riley. That's the long-term plan, though. We know eventually they'll get back to being great. I don't know if they're going to compete for championships or build a dynasty, but I'm going to assume they're going to be doing much better than what they have been. The only thing they've been lacking in the recent years is a great head coach and a great quarterback, and fortunately they got both of those. Remember though, they didn't just take Caleb Williams from Oklahoma. Lincoln Riley also took a great wide receiver in Mario Williams. Just that alone, with Caleb having a former wide receiver he loved playing with, that was going to be scary itself. But last night the news officially broke that Jordan Addison, aka the top wide receiver, or arguably one of the top wide receivers in all of college football, he won the Bolitnikoff last year. He's going to USC. If you've been watching the channel, you know I predicted and called this about 3 or 4 weeks ago, but you didn't have to be a rocket scientist to figure this one out. It was simple and it was clear and cut from day one, and like I said, I called this out weeks ago. But now it's not me calling it out or predicting it, it's put in stone. What's funny about all of this is all these guys, Caleb Williams, Mario Williams, and Jordan Addison, somehow, someway, y'all fell into the trap and tried to believe for a second they weren't going to USC. I'm not going to let y'all forget, I remember when y'all were starting up rumors trying to say that Caleb Williams could possibly go to Wisconsin. And then with Mario Williams, everybody's saying, oh, he's going to go to Texas, and then the same thing for Jordan Addison. The Mario Williams one's okay, but if you believe Caleb Williams even considered going to Wisconsin, you're out of your mind. I'm going to read you off this tweet. Number 1, players enter portal, USC is already the destination. Number 2, players act interested in other schools to throw people off the scent. And number 3, player commits to USC. Yeah, that's pretty much how it's gone. None of these recruits, they haven't fooled me so far. It's fairly obvious that all these recruits, before they enter the transfer portal, they're not considering any other school. They're going to USC. They just have to say legally they're entering the transfer portal, so there's no investigation going on and it is quote-unquote legal. I also want to read off this tweet because it does piss me off. I love college football and I don't blame Jordan Addison for taking the money, but the way it happened really pisses me off. There should be serious repercussions for a school like USC reaching out to a kid when he's not in the transfer portal. That's wrong. Whoever tweeted that out, I'm going to assume you know nothing whatsoever about college football. Because if you did know something about college football, you would understand that tampering's happening at every school. I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. I'm not a USC fan by any means, but for everyone to single out Lincoln Riley for this tampering nonsense, it's stupid. The only reason people are mad at this quote-unquote tampering is because your school's not benefiting from it just yet. And the worst part about it, people agree with it. This tweet had over 700 likes. I can guarantee you, if your team was getting Jordan Addison, if your team got Caleb Williams, you wouldn't be complaining. You'd be talking about how great the transfer portal is, how great NIL is. College football right now, from the coaches, Nick Saban, Deion Sanders, Jimbo Fisher, to the fans, to the players, it's a big hypocrisy. Everybody is a hypocrite, and more importantly, the fans are. Where this person said there should be serious repercussions for a school like USC reaching out to a kid. No, there shouldn't be, because the big dogs, they're going to be the big dogs. I'm going to offer you guys not just on football knowledge, but on some real life knowledge. You can thank me later. College football, you may like it, but at the end of the day, it's a business. And in life, how businesses work, the big dogs like Amazon, Tesla, all those big corporations, they crush the smaller ones. They make not just millions, but they're making billions and billions of dollars and trillions of dollars. While a local coffee shop in your area, they're making probably $80,000 a year. It's how the economy is. The trillionaire companies, the big dogs of college football, they're gonna eat first. And whatever's left over for these smaller schools, for example Pittsburgh, you're gonna get the scraps. And here's my final point on this. Whether you like it or not, it's happening. So you complaining on Twitter, it's not going to do nothing. I've never understood in life where people complain about situations that you have no control over. Do you really think anybody at the headquarters of the NCAA is going to look at all of your guys' tweets that you're putting out there and go, you know what? Bob 443,000, he's right. We should put a stop to this. No, they don't give a crap about what you say. They know USC's tampering, they just can't do nothing about it. And like I said, it's not just USC, but since we're talking about it, I just said them. Everyone's doing it. You don't think Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk is doing sneaky stuff behind the scenes to avoid taxes? All of these businesses and all these corporations, they find loopholes within the system, and that's what we're seeing in college football, and college football is a business. It is reported, and this is pretty insane, that Jordan Addison is getting $3.5 million from USC. Little fun fact for you, that's 3 times as much as the Steelers are paying George Pickens, and he's making $1.2 million. So you got a guy in college making over $3 million, and a guy in the NFL who's barely making over $1 million. I guess it's safe to say that times have changed. George Pickens was a 3rd round pick, right? Correct me if I'm wrong on that down below. I think he went in the 3rd round. That's just crazy. You got a guy in college making more than a 3rd round NFL draft pick. You still don't have people happy about it. This person said, they deserve to make money, but this is getting out of hand. Just my opinion. Under that, and I really like this, the price is whatever someone is willing to pay. Stack that cash. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And it all goes back to this. You only think it's too much money because you're not in that situation. If someone was willing to pay you $3.5 million to go to USC, would you think that's too much money? I don't think so. You'd be saying it's too little. It's not just within the college football landscape right now. It's everybody in life. They're hypocrites. Oh yeah, I do want to throw this in there, but I've already talked about it. If you haven't seen the other videos, I'll just mention it once again. They also are giving him a mansion, a car, and they're paying for all of his living expenses. Last but not least, I'm going to end the video off with this right here. I like it. I'm not going to be one of these people criticizing USC, Lincoln Riley, and Jordan Addison. I'm going to congratulate them. Congrats to my man Jordan Addison for raking in $3.5 million. And oh yeah, he also is getting a car and he gets to live it up in California. Also, congratulations to USC for landing a top wide receiver. I think he's going to benefit your team a lot. Ultimately, though, when it's all said and done, I like this for one main reason. That reason is no other than I'm tired of seeing Alabama dominate the sport of college football. We need parity. You may not like the NIL and the transfer portal, but it's getting us closer to that said parity. The playing field is starting to even out. We're seeing it with Texas A&M, we're seeing it with USC, and many other schools are on the rise. I'm very curious. Let me know your thoughts on this down below. But with that being said, peace.